We're done with the tour here.
He wants to say something. You got X'd.
Sorry, there's no other choice.
너 뭐, 이거 다 있는 거 아니겠습니까?
기분 좋다!
아이고 안경 벗으시니까.
Mansu sits with his family for lunch. They eat expensive meat sent by Solar Paper as a reward for 25 years of service. Miri opens a luxury gift while Rione plays the cello. Mansu embraces his family inside the childhood home he purchased and renovated. The next day at the factory, Mansu learns an American firm bought the company. The new owners plan to cut 20% of the production line. Mansu objects to the downsizing of his subordinates. He approaches the new owner to argue against the firing, but the man ignores him. A colleague reveals that only the fired employees received the expensive meat. Mansu is now unemployed. He keeps the news from his family and joins a support group. During a ritual, the host instructs the group to touch their faces and repeat that job loss is not their fault. Mansu calls Miri and discloses the situation. He vows to find a new paper-making job within 3 months.
석 달 안에 재취업에 성공한다. 기분 좋다!
13 months pass. Mansu works a low-paying retail job with bad hours. He suffers from a persistent toothache but refuses to pay for a dentist. The family rehomes their dogs with Miri's parents to save money. Rione reacts with distress.
개털이 사람 잡네.
A friend secures Mansu an interview at a major company. Mansu asks his retail manager to leave early and gets fired. He returns his uniform and stands on the street in his underwear. His friend warns him that the company asks about a candidate's weak point. Mansu calls Miri for advice. She says his only weakness is loving plants too much. While checking the mail, Miri finds a letter stating they are behind on mortgage payments. During the interview, Mansu is nervous. When asked for his weak point, he says he cannot say no to anyone. He fails the interview.
좀 가요 좀. 가기 전에 꼭 자리 잡으셔야 됩니다.
Miri announces she has a job as a dental assistant for Jinho. She lists family activities to cut and suggests selling the house. Mansu refuses. Miri points out that the severance pay is gone and the bank will seize the house in 3 months. A potential buyer named Wo arrives to inspect the property. Mansu leaves the house. Outside, he sees his son, Sion, with Jian-ho, who is Wo's son. Mansu finds Rione crying over the dogs and promises they will keep the house.
파이팅! 매트리스 좋네.
Mansu attends an interview with Moon Paper. He begs on his knees and blocks a bathroom door to force the boss to listen. A manager named Sion Chol pushes Mansu aside. Sion Chol tells Mansu to have dignity and gives him money for a drink. At a bar, Mansu drinks whiskey and watches Sion Chol's social media videos. Miri calls and says Rione's cello teacher needs to speak with them. The teacher explains that Rione is a prodigy and requires expensive, advanced classes. Later, Mansu and Miri watch Sion Chol's corporate videos. Miri jokes that Sion Chol should be struck by lightning so Mansu can take his job. Mansu adopts the idea. Mansu stalks Sion Chol around town. He hides on a rooftop and holds a heavy potted plant over Sion Chol's head. He hesitates and picks up a larger one. The owner of the plant catches him before he can drop it. Mansu buys the plant and realizes removing Sion Chol is insufficient. He must eliminate all other qualified candidates. Munsu purchases a toy gun and a burner phone. He places a fake job advertisement in a papermaking magazine to identify his competitors. The ad reaches Balmo, an unemployed drunkard. Balmo cleans himself up and submits a detailed application. Munsu receives hundreds of resumes. He identifies the two men with credentials superior to his own, Balmo and Shijo. Munsu burns the other resumes. He goes to his father's memorial, removes a Vietnam War-era handgun, and replaces it with the toy gun. He spies on Balmo's house with binoculars and identifies a security camera. He watches A-Ra's lover sneak out of the house by avoiding the camera's range.
잘생긴 배나무가 있는데.
The next day, Munsu returns to the woods. Balmo nearly discovers him while foraging for mushrooms. Munsu pulls his gun but does not fire. A-Ra joins Balmo for a picnic. Balmo ignores her and checks his phone for a response to the fake job ad. A-Ra scolds him for refusing a job at her father's cafe. Balmo runs to the house to check the mail. Munsu rolls down a hill and a snake bites him. A-Ra finds him. She ties a tourniquet, cuts the wound with a heated knife, and sucks out the poison. Munsu receives a call from Mi-ri and hangs up. A-Ra gives Munsu a stick and leaves. Munsu looks up snakebite treatments online. He discovers A-Ra's methods are the opposite of medical advice. Munsu and Mi-ri dance at home. Mi-ri brings up Sion. Sion is Mi-ri's son from a previous relationship, but Munsu has raised him since age 2. Munsu insists they not tell Sion the truth. Mi-ri suggests Munsu look for work outside the paper industry. Munsu argues for the importance of the trade.
죽여버려. 그린라이트.
The next day, Munsu sneaks into Balmo's house by avoiding the camera. He hears A-Ra with her lover but cannot find Balmo. He leaves and spots Balmo driving home. Using his burner phone, Munsu calls Balmo and claims the paper company wants an immediate interview. Balmo enters his house to change and discovers A-Ra's infidelity. He has a breakdown in the yard. He tries to call the company to reschedule, but Munsu does not answer. Balmo leaves to drink with a friend. Later, Munsu picks up Mi-ri. She sees a fast food bag in the car and criticizes the expense. Her boss, Jin-ho, offers to treat Munsu's toothache for free. Munsu drives away aggressively.
유연아.
Munsu returns to Balmo's house with the gun hidden in a kitchen mitten. He finds Balmo listening to music. Balmo mistakes Munsu for A-Ra's lover. As Munsu removes layers of gloves to reveal the gun, A-Ra arrives. She picks up an award to strike Munsu but stops when Balmo declares his love for her. Munsu yells at Balmo for ignoring his wife and refusing non-paper industry jobs. Balmo cries, stating he is an engineer and cannot do manual labor. A-Ra intervenes, startling Munsu, who accidentally shoots Balmo in the shoulder. A-Ra hits Munsu with the award, and the three struggle for the gun. A-Ra tries to choke Munsu while Balmo secures the gun. Munsu kicks A-Ra into Balmo. A-Ra grabs the gun and a second shot is fired. Munsu flees in a panic. Balmo staggers outside, and A-Ra shoots him dead.
두 방 맞았다고 죽냐?
Munsu stops for gas and sees 10 missed calls from Mi-ri. His children tell him Mi-ri left, saying Munsu would pay for this. Munsu realizes he forgot a costume dance party. He arrives late and watches Mi-ri dancing with Jin-ho. He tries to dance toward her, but she ignores him until he leaves. Munsu returns to Balmo's house. While A-Ra is with her lover, Munsu buries Balmo's body and retrieves his gun. Munsu returns home late. He checks Mi-ri's dresser to see what underwear she wore and accuses her of sleeping with Jin-ho. Mi-ri kicks him away and reveals Munsu is a recovering alcoholic who has been clean for 9 years. She reminds him that he was violent toward Sion during his drinking years. Mi-ri notes the high mileage on their car and accuses Munsu of infidelity. Munsu insists he has only been going to interviews.
그렇게
반박을 안 하네?
The next day, Munsu tracks the second candidate, Shijo. Shijo works at a shoe store to support his daughter. Munsu watches as Shijo handles a customer and gives money to his daughter. Mansu enters the store pretending to be a customer. They bond over their love for the paper industry and the struggles of unemployment.
에나멜 그대로 반짝반짝하는. 아니다.
Mansu claims he needs shoes for his daughter and promises to return. In the evening, Mansu parks on the highway and fakes a breakdown. Shijo stops to help. As Shijo examines the engine, Mansu covers the man's face and points the gun. Shijo struggles and tries to run. Mansu shoots him dead. He hides the body in his trunk and takes the dash camera from Shijo's car. He leaves a shell casing on the ground. Meanwhile, Sion and Jian-ho break into Jian-ho's father's store and steal iPhones. The police chase them. Jian-ho is caught while Sion escapes home. Mansu arrives home with the body and sees Sion's muddy bicycle. He begins digging a hole in the garden but falls asleep. In the morning, the police arrive to arrest Sion. Mansu sees Shijo's clothing peeking out of the trunk and stands against the car to hide it. The family drives to the police station in the car containing the corpse. At the station, Mansu tells Sion to blame Jian-ho for the robbery. Miri speaks to Jian-ho's father, Wo, to convince him not to press charges. Mansu reveals he has footage from the store's security cameras showing Wo with mistresses. He blackmails Wo into having Jian-ho take full responsibility. Mansu tells Wo he will not sell the house.
사지 마세요.
Mansu finds the stolen iPhones in Sion's room. He gives the phones to Miri and they bury them in the garden hole. Mansu lets Sion keep a pack of cigarettes. That night, Mansu goes to his greenhouse with a chainsaw. Sion watches from the roof. Mansu cannot bring himself to use the saw. He uses garden rope to bind the body into a ball and buries it in the garden. He plants an apple tree over the spot. Detectives visit the house. They investigate the disappearances of Balmo and Shijo, noting both were top candidates for the same job. They become suspicious when Mansu speaks of the men in the past tense. They mention the shell casing found at the scene was a North Korean model. Miri overhears this. Sion has night terrors about the chainsaw. Miri pressures him until he confesses what he saw. Miri checks the memorial, finds the toy gun, and realizes the real gun is gone. She digs up the apple tree and discovers the corpse. Mansu intercepts Sion Chol on the road. He pretends to be a fan of Sion Chol's videos and invites him for a drink. At Sion Chol's house, Mansu plies him with alcohol. Sion Chol complains about his workload and mentions he needs another manager. Mansu encourages him to recommend him for the job. Mansu jokingly suggests Sion Chol is embezzling company money. Sion Chol forces Mansu to drink a cold beer. The cold triggers Mansu's toothache. He takes pliers and pulls out the decayed tooth himself.
나 불멍하면서 추하다하게 돼. 졸라 멋있어. 먹어가.
Mansu knocks Sion Chol out and buries him in the backyard with only his head exposed. Miri video calls him. She says that if he must do something bad, she will do it with him. Sion Chol wakes up, and Mansu hangs up. Mansu uses a funnel to force mashed hot dogs and alcohol down Sion Chol's throat. He wraps Sion Chol's head in plastic wrap to suffocate him. He cleans the house and poses the body in a chair with a bottle to make it appear Sion Chol choked. Mansu returns home and tells Miri the interview went well. He shows her his missing tooth. Miri tells Sion that the body he saw was a pig Mansu buried to fertilize the tree. Moonpaper hires Mansu to replace Sion Chol. The family keeps their home and retrieves their dogs. The detectives return to inform Mansu he is no longer a suspect. Ra has told the police that Balmo owned an illegal gun and killed Shijo over the job competition before fleeing. Mansu arrives at the paper mill for his first day. The facility is modern and fully automated. Mansu celebrates alone in the empty factory.